Welcome to Evolution of Self with me, Britannia. Hello. So this week I want to talk to you about speaking your truth. Now, this is something I still don't fully understand, but for some reason as humans, it's really important for us to express what we're experiencing. What you'll find is that when you do this, and quite often what happens, and I'm most likely going to jump around a bit because my thoughts are a bit all over the place on this, but quite often what happens when we have something going on inside of us that wants to be expressed, that if we don't express it in a conscious way, a lot of emotion gets attached to it. And quite often when we finally express it, there's anger, there's pain, there's hurt, there's frustration, there's all sorts of negative emotions all attached to whatever it is that you want to express. And quite often this happens in an argument with someone, when the argument gets heated and we say things in a way that's quite hurtful, that don't really need to be said in a hurtful way. But quite often this happens because whatever it was that was bothering you wasn't expressed fully at the time that it started bothering you. Now, recently I've started working with somebody and their views and their way of working is very, very different to mine. And that's all good and it's all okay. We're allowed to experience things that are different. But I felt that I needed to still have integrity with myself and my own way of experiencing the world. I needed to express what I was feeling and what was going on for me. Because I don't understand all this consciousness stuff, that's not to say that by any means that I always do it perfectly, because I don't. I knew how important it was to express what I was experiencing or my thoughts on something. I most likely did express them with a little bit of an emotional charge. In hindsight, I could have actually expressed them with no emotional charge. And this is the part that's really important, is that when you understand your need to express what's you're experiencing or what's the truth for you, it doesn't have to be done with an emotional charge. And if we express it with an emotional charge, quite often what the other person experiences is not the words and what it is you're trying to explain. All they experience is the emotional charge. And if you ever actually look at arguments, and maybe next time you have one, try and notice how quite often the person who responds to you doesn't actually respond to what you've said. They might respond about something completely entirely different. And that's because they're expressing or they're reacting to the emotion that you've put behind the words. If you're able to step out of the situation, if it is emotionally charged, if it's emotionally charged, I would recommend you don't express something. I would take yourself out of the situation, calm yourself down, find a balanced, neutral state within yourself, figure out what it is that you need to say to feel like you've fully expressed yourself, and then find the time, the place that's appropriate to do that. So in this particular example that I was giving you with this person I was working with, I did express myself fully. I maybe expressed myself, as I said, maybe a little bit more forcefully than I needed to. In hindsight, I would change that. However, once I'd expressed myself, even if that person doesn't listen to what I've got to say, doesn't implement what I've said, I felt a peace and a calmness within myself. It's like, I don't know, it sounds like a horrible analogy, but it's like when you pop a boil or a spot or something like that. The irritation goes away. There's an easing of disharmony within yourself, or within myself anyway. And that's why, so I suppose there's a number of points that I'm trying to make here today. One, how vitally important it is for us to express ourselves as human beings. If we don't, whatever is inside ourselves festers. It either festers and causes us harm if we choose never to express it, or it festers and when we do finally express it, it comes out with a whole load of horrible emotions attached to it. And secondly, that these things that we need to express, and you'll feel the need to express it because it's something that'll work in your mind, it'll buzz around and you won't be able to let it go, that they can be expressed without the emotion. That if you find the calm, central, present space within yourself where you've let go of that emotion, then it's very possible to express these things. And when you do express it from that space, the people, the person, or whoever it is that you express to will hear what you're saying and not what you're experiencing. And you'll actually find that you're much more likely to be heard and listened to, and that what you say will be a lot more powerful. I hope this helps. It is a bit of a sort of wandering thing, and I don't know why it's so important for us to express ourselves. But anyway, as usual, in the show notes below, you'll find links to my free 7-day Happiness Boost course, links to my social media, links to my website where you can contact me if you're interested in coaching or team coaching. And otherwise, have a super duper week, and I'll catch you again next week. Bye-bye.